Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this meeting of the Planning, Development, and Zoning Commission. We'll start with roll call. Ryan Miller, that's me, I'm here. Kyle is at another meeting this evening. Marianne Atkinson.
Here.
Kenneth Haynes.
Here.
Christy Kennard.
Here.
Dorothy Wayne is not with us yet this evening. And Mohammed.
Here.
Excellent. If I can ask everybody to stand for the pledge, please. Thank you. Okay, so we have a public hearing tonight, which I know there's a lot of mailed-in comments for, and I'm sure most of you are here for as well. So when we open that'll be your time to speak about the public hearing item, which is the gas station. We also have, since we've had this public hearing once before, we do have all those comments on record. And everybody here has heard them, but if you would like to restate your case again, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to go through the written ones first and just see if anybody's here. If you're here and you would like to speak, then I'll let you speak. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. If not, then I'll just read these into the record first, and then we'll proceed with the comments.
Right. Just let you know that we do have a public comment
that's
section,
what I was about to
which
say.
is for things that's not on the public hearing.
Right.
Okay.
So this is going to be public comment though for anything else. So do we have any public comments on anything else? No. Okay. Excellent. So we'll move on to the public hearing. Okay, so our public hearing is to hear input from the public regarding an ordinance of the City of Manvel, Texas, amending ordinance number 2020-0-14, being the ordinance pertaining to the zoning and development-related provisions and requirements for Del Bello Lakes Planned Unit Development to, 1, authorize the NAICS use 447110 gasoline stations with convenience stores, and 2, amend the signage-related provisions for a property located at the northwest corner of Del Bello Boulevard and Cedar Creek Lane intersection, providing for severability and providing a penalty in the amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of the violation of any provision hereof. So, like I said, I'll start with seeing if anybody from the written comments is here and would like to speak, and I'll read the other ones into the record. Monica Britton, would you like to speak or just read yours into the record? Okay. Kendrick Miller, would you like to speak or just a comment card? Okay, so Kendrick Miller is 6210 Silver Lake Lane, and he is in opposition to the gas station. Abigail T. Okay, so they are to Whitney Crest Court, opposed to the gas station. Deidre and Rich Lane, would you like to speak or? Okay. Charles Bellacura? No, okay. That is 6246 Eagle Mountain Lane, and he is opposed to the gas station. Tina Nakube? Okay. This is 4318 Limestone Terrace, and they are strongly opposed to the gas station. Cortland, Washington, 4410 Millstone Drive, and they are opposed to the gas station. Louis Leisha? Yes, sir. Would you like to speak again, or? Okay. Yolanda Miller, would you like to speak again, or? Okay, just do this, okay. So Yolanda Miller, 6210 Silver Lake Lane, and they are in strong opposition to the gas station. Well, your written comments are part of the record. So if you'd like to speak more, okay. Athena Riddles. So that's 4203 Martin Ridge Drive, and they are opposed to the gas station. And Deidre and Richland, I feel like this is a duplicate maybe? Okay. Lisa Pavlatos? No. So that's 6206 Silver Lake Lane, and they are opposed to the gas station. Carlos Martinez, would you like to speak or just have your comments right in the record? You can speak, yeah. Keith Stevens. Okay, they are opposed to the gas station. This is 4310 Martin Ridge Drive. And then finally Jamal Cheeks. Okay. And would you like to speak or would you let me just read yours into the record? Okay. So they are opposed to the gas station for 4331 Martin Ridge Drive. Okay. So we'll start with our in-person comments here. If I can just remind everybody that we'll limit your speaking time just to 3 minutes, just so we can get everybody in. And we'll start with Kendrick Miller. No. Monica Britton.
Hello, everyone again.
Good evening.
In addition to a lot of the comments that we gave you guys at the last public hearing, I created a petition that I posted on the DeMello community page on Facebook, as well as next door. I also created a flyer that I distributed throughout the community on all of the mailboxes. And so as of today, there are 160 signatures on this petition opposing to the gas station. You guys already heard the reasons why, so I don't have to go back into that. That's in public record. You already know why I'm opposed to the gas station. But I will say that as our elected officials, we pray that you guys hear our voice and you be our voice when it's time to vote against this gas station. We don't want it. I don't think anybody in this room wants it. It is not in a very good area. I feel like when you drive, I don't know if any of you guys have come into the community to look, but it's beyond the monument. That's a part of a community. That's not where we want the gas station. And the funny thing is, also, as we were passing out flyers, one of the young ladies that I passed the flyer out to works at Toyota. And she said they approached the developer to purchase that little sliver of land. And they told them no. So to me, I feel like that's public greed. They want to go with the highest buyer instead of thinking about the individuals in the community. I don't know if she's here today. She said that she was gonna have a representative from Toyota to come speak. I hope she is here today. But I just wanted to give you that little tidbit that they were approached to buy because they said that they needed additional parking and it's a very small area. I, on a personal note, don't want to look at a gas station. I can see the tree line from my backyard. I'm 4 houses in. I just built a pool. I don't want to be laying in my pool looking up at a gas station sign. I don't want it there. So, thank you.
Thank you. See Deidre and Rich Lane.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for your time this evening and your thoughtful consideration of our concerns. My name is Deirdre Lane, and I, with my husband, live in the Del Bello Lakes subdivision. We are opposed to the gas station being built in our subdivision. A gas station brings unwanted risk and dangers to our community. The proposed location requires patrons to come into our subdivision, not exit the highway, use the station, and then proceed back. To patronize the gas stations, customers will exit, turn onto Del Bello Boulevard, enter the gas station, and it brings inherent crime to our area and our community. According to the FBI crime database for 2021 in Texas, convenience stores rank 4th on the list where violent crimes are committed. Gas stations ranked 8th. In 2018, Houston, Texas reported 661 gas station robberies, representing 8% of all robberies in the city that year. According to the Houston Police Department, from January through June of 2023, there have been 129,062 crimes committed at gas stores and gas stations. The top 5 crimes reported were theft from automobiles, simple assault, intimidation, motor vehicle theft, and destruction, damage, and vandalism. Other reported crimes included purse snatching, prostitution, drug violations, and driving under the influence. Even though murder was not among the top 5, there were 168 murders during the 6-month time period committed at these locations. This criminal element across the street from our homes diminishes our safety and our security. We don't want this gas station. In addition, gas stations pose an environmental risk to our community. Gas spills, leaks, and the potential for fire are a risk. The gasoline is stored in underground storage tanks. According to the EPA, the greatest threat posed by underground storage tanks are tank leaks of the petroleum products into the groundwater. The benzene found in this gasoline causes cancer and adversely affects developing children and the reproductive system. Benzene is suspected of harming the nervous system, cardiovascular, and respiratory systems. Even though there is a vapor recovery system on the pumps, the fumes still escaping benzene into our atmosphere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other speakers for the public comments? Please come up, and if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, my name is Yolanda Miller, representing Del Bello Lakes on Silver Lake Lane. My Del Bello Lakes constituents and I are in strong opposition to the gas station and convenience store in our backyard. Due to traffic congestion, health, and safety concerns for our community, and the multiple gas stations that already exist within a 3-mile radius of Del Bello Lakes, we do not support another gas station at the expense of our health, our safety, and protecting our investment. Del Bello Lakes residents already deal with the high traffic and pollution of Highway 288, on top of the Keating Toyota test driving within our neighborhood, and we simply cannot afford another hindrance for our community. We ask that you agree with us and oppose this gas station. Thank you.
Thank you. And any other public comments? Yes.
Well, everyone, thank you for your time. I got on here last time we met here just to...
Yes, sir. And if you'll just give us your name and your address real quick, please.
My name is Luis Leja, and I live on Lake Bridge Lane, so that main street, we live right in front of the park, and we get to see the kids and out and about throughout the day, and for us, it's me and my wife have 2 children under the age of 5, so when we heard about this gas station, we certainly weren't, I guess, in agreement with them building it for a lot of the reasons that have been spoken about already. But not just that, you know, we came from Pasadena where we dealt with a lot of, you have the plants out there, the smells, and it's just pollution out there. And the reason we chose to live in Manvel was, you know, we got to come out to a nicer area and enjoy just the difference of fresh air, you know. And when this came up and we saw it, it just kind of hit us straight at home because we left that area for those reasons. And to have a gas station be put there isn't something that we're excited about at all. We're definitely opposed to it for a lot of those reasons, and it kind of brought back some of the reasons we left Pasadena in the first place. And so I bring that up for some of my neighbors that weren't here last time, and for, you know, some of the new faces I'm seeing today, just to consider, you know, and hear us out, and put yourself in our shoes, you know, especially if you have children, you know, just ask that you take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And our next speaker, yes, ma'am. And if you'll just give us your name and address, please.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Yvette Holly, and I'm in the Delaware. I'm coming today to tell you from a personal situation that I have. I had one of my lungs removed, and my husband and I came to Delaware because we lived in another area of Caroline. And when we tried to sell our home, the offers that we had were rescinded because of the landfill, the gas station, and the water treatment center. So we gave up everything we had, and we moved over here to Delaware Lakes last year, September. And then today, we're here today talking about a gas station that's gonna be in our backyard. And we're just asking you to save our lives. That's all, we're save our children's life. My life is at risk now because we have nothing else to do but to sit here and wait for you to make a decision on whether this is the best place for us to live or my health. And these are issues that maybe some of the other residents have, but I felt compelled today to let you know my situation. Help save my life and not bring the gas station here.
Thank you very much. Yes, any additional speakers?
Carlos Martinez from Candy Shore Drive. And so I'm opposed to the gas station for the many reasons that everyone spoke of. Like, I'm not going to give you all the data, all the facts and all of that. I'm just going to kind of speak from the heart here. I came to Delaware Lakes, or more specifically in general, to Manvel, because I wanted more greenery, more fresh air, like someone said earlier. And at the same time, I specifically chose Delaware Lakes because it's a smaller community. It's 440 houses versus, you have Meridiana, 6,000 homes. You have Pomona, 2,000 homes, and other communities in the thousands. And so Delaware Lakes is small, and I was thinking, okay, we're not going to have that issue with traffic and, people loitering around. But putting a gas station, that's exactly what that happens. With a gas station, you have people that, from all walks of life, go in and out. They loiter. It's not like the Costco gas station where you go in and out, right? And also, to add to that, a lot of people here probably don't even use the normal gas station. They probably go to Costco as well, most probably. With that being said, I strongly oppose it. Also for the crime, again, the loitering, and then it's really in a wrong spot. It seems out of place, where you have the neighborhood and you have a gas station right in the middle. It doesn't make any sense, really. And so yeah, it's a really nice community, a beautiful community. There's all these trees and greenery, and then you're gonna put a gas station where, and I feel bad for the people that kind of live really close by, with the cars coming in and out, the constant turning on of engines all the time, different cars coming in and out, trailers as well because they have to fill up the gas station. It's not a good thing to do for our community. It's gonna lower the value of the homes, and it's gonna just bring down the neighborhood pretty much. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
I'm Dexter Taylor. I live at 6111 Cotto Bend. My biggest problem is the area that I live in the back, mostly every house over there is $700, $800,000. And it's real disrespectful for you to come into the neighborhood. You already got a dealership, car dealership, like the lady say. They drive up and down the neighborhood test driving they car, the vehicles. Then right behind the dealership is gonna be the gas station. That's not a good look, because you got people walking their kids. So when kids go play, you got people that snatch kids. That's a great place to do it, because you can snatch them and you straight on the highway. When you rob it, you can snatch it and you straight on the highway. You know, so I oppose it. I know everybody in the neighborhood oppose it. It's not good for us, because you got HEB if you need some gas. You can go down the street and get gas. We ain't been complaining about getting gas. Then they never said they was gonna put a convenience store and a gas station right there. That was never told us. So you got people in my area in the back part that paid $700,000-$800,000. The people in the front that paid $300,000-$400,000. That's too much money. Like the lady say, it's houses right there in the back. If she go out her back door, she looking at the gas station. Like from here to here, it's the gas station. So we greatly oppose it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Donna Barbara. I live at 4422 Meadow Shore Lane, Manvel, Texas. And as I said before, I spoke on last time we were here in regards to my husband and we oppose to the gas station that they are looking to put in our community. We are opposed to it because, as everyone else has said, or have spoken and said, health reasons. And the young man that just left, I didn't think about the analogy of picking up a child and jumping on the highway. Like, that is a safety risk. And then we walk our dogs at night. We walk for exercise or whatever, and it's a safe environment. If you put that gas station there, that takes away our safety. And then I'm not really sure what the city of Manvel will receive on in regards to this gas station, but I know that the city of Manvel's operating fund has increased significantly due to new developments, and a spa revenue can be gained elsewhere. We already pay 3.7% tax rate, and some of it which is allocated for other districts, unbeknownst to us, which we don't have a say in. And so now here we are looking to put up a gas station, which we're asking you to hear our voices and to hear our cry, and we're asking you to please do not allow them to come in and put a gas station in our community. As the young man said, those houses, we're paying $500,000 on our side and maybe 7 and 8 on his side. And then our taxes is extremely high, but we choose to live there because I'm sure everyone here moved to Manvel for a better living. And then to come and move there and then to have our dreams destroyed by putting a gas station, because it is a dream destroyer. Yes, it is. And so to have that happen to us, that I think that's very, very unfair. So I'm asking you, and I'm pleading with you, and I'm praying to God that you all will hear our voices and not allow that gas station to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ladies and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Manvel City Council. My name is Violeta Zaporteza. I live on 5706 Dancing Oaks Court. As a former environmental investigator with 27 years of experience with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, I stand before you today to express my deep concern regarding the proposed gas station, construction of the gas station near our cherished neighborhood. While we acknowledge the importance of accessible fuel options for the community, we must prioritize the protection of our environment and the well-being of our residents. Gas stations can bring a host of environmental challenges, including air and water pollution, And soil contamination and increased traffic congestion. And everybody had already pretty much reiterated all of those issues earlier. Texas has a proud tradition of valuing our natural resources and promoting sustainable development. I urge the Council to carefully consider the potential consequences of this gas station on our local ecosystem. We must assess the risk posed to air quality from increased emissions and the potential contamination of groundwater. Furthermore, increased traffic near residential areas can lead to potential hazards to pedestrians and children. Noise pollution, light pollution associated with gas stations can also disrupt the peacefulness of our neighborhood. Instead, let us explore alternative locations for the gas station that are farther away from residential areas and sensitive environmental sites. I implore you, the City Council, to make a decision that prioritizes the preservation of our peaceful neighborhood and the well-being of our residents. Let us work together to ensure a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable future for our beloved neighborhood and the entire city of Manvel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Geneva Rivera, 5803 Dancing Oaks Court. I would like to ask the owner who spoke the last time to consider putting his gasoline station outside of our community. If you go out the community, turn right, go down, there is a side street, there's a four-way stop sign. There's a huge field over there, so it would make more sense not to put a gasoline station there and not in a community. Also, we weren't told until now these meetings started, that a gasoline station was going in that community. Had I known, because we have no more money. We have spent all our money getting to Texas, coming from South Carolina, over $20-something thousand to move here with furniture, not to mention the cost of the property taxes and the cost of the house. So this cannot fair to people like us. If we would have known, I would have known not to go in that community, because this isn't something I want. And also, I would like to take the time to remember that when the owner spoke, he said that your property will not be decreased because it's on the uprise. But I'm sorry to tell him, the most important issue to us is our health. We all have read and seen and heard that the gasoline station comes with a lot of health risks. Please, please don't put that in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Rivera. I live at 5803 Dancing Oaks Court. And of course, I oppose of having this gasoline station put in our community. Everybody talked about environmental safety, crime, so I'm not going to hash that all out. But I do want to touch about the safety. At least take into consideration the safety of our children. I just had my family come from San Antonio with my grandchildren. They walked to the pool to utilize that pool. The path that they take to utilize that pool is going right by that proposed gasoline station. With all the crime that happens, especially to our special little kids, I would sure hate for somebody to have to go through something like that, having their kid snatched, taken away, and God knows what happens to them. So that, if anything, think about the safety of our children. And so I just want to reiterate that. And then also I would like to, it says in your paperwork that you hold all questions directly to the member that's presiding there, not to talk to any of y'all, but I just want to ask all of y'all a question. Not a question, I just want to put something into your mind here. All y'all probably live in a residential area or a community or a subdivision. Tell me, would you like to have a gasoline station smack in the middle of your residential area or your subdivision? Just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any additional speakers? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Excuse me. Leanne Lyons, 4238 Martin Ridge Drive.
Thank you.
To reiterate what my neighbors have said, I'm an avid walker. I walk the neighborhood either early in the morning, in the middle of the afternoon, or in the evening time. There has been times to where I'm walking that path and I have almost gotten hit walking across the street. To have that continuous traffic come through the neighborhood is not a good idea. Also, not only is it the little children, but it's our high school and our middle schoolers. They're learning how to drive. They are driving through the community. It will be something, as our neighbor said, that if my daughter is driving and next thing you know, human sex trafficking and she is swooped up from the gas station. Our children are our main priorities. We moved out here to have a quieter life. We do not want to see an eyesore of a gas station in our neighborhood. So I implore you that you guys deny this gas station in our neighborhood and think about our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional speakers? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Luis Bueno. I live at 6038 Lake Bridge Lane in Del Bello Lakes. Also, asking you to please vote no on this proposed construction of a gas station. I have put down many reasons why it's a bad idea to do so, did my research, et cetera, et cetera. Many of those reasons have already been addressed by my neighbors before me very eloquently, so I'm not going to go through the same items. I just thought I will expand a little bit on a few of them, if you don't mind. More about noise pollution. This can actually result in mental problems for people that live nearby, including stress, sleep disturbance, which I'm pretty sure you could understand, and hearing damage, depending on the type of traffic that goes in there, 18-wheelers refilling the tanks, et cetera, et cetera. We won't touch on the environmental concerns, that's been mentioned plenty of times, but as far as safety and health concerns. So I've been researching. Modern health and safety guidelines suggest that a safe distance from a gas station should be at least 500 feet. This distance takes into account the possibility of spills, leaks, and other accidents that can occur on gas stations. The closest home to the proposed location is less than 300 feet. Google Maps is a beauty, allows you to take those measurements. We already have 4 gas stations within 1.3 miles of the proposed location. There's a Valero, a Shell, an Exxon, a Chevron gas station. I heard in our last meeting that there will be another one being constructed with the HEB on the corner of 288 and Highway 6, so that's going to be 5 gas stations in a very small area. This is not really necessary. If we need something, we can even walk 1 mile to the closest gas station without having to go to this. And decrease property value. Studies show that property values can decrease up to 10% within 1/4 of a mile of the radius of the gas station. I'll be happy to share my references, EPA studies, where this is being concluded. I sent actually this in an email to Jose Abraham. I didn't read on the list of emails, so I'll be happy to share this as well. So in closing, Thank you for your attention to this matter. I trust that you will carefully consider the long-term implications of this decision. And I, again, urge you to please vote no on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional speakers? Second call and final call for speakers. Okay, we'll close the public hearing at 6:36. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is a nice short one this evening. If anybody has any questions, we'll take those. If not, I'll take motions.
I move we approve the consent items.
I'll second that. All those in favor? And that passes, what was that, 5-0. Okay, our regular agenda. Consideration and possible action to approve the final plat for Valencia Section 2. And Joes, was that something we should, we can combine with item B there, Section 7, or are they different? I can't remember anymore.
Can we combine them? Yeah, they're both the same? They're both sections within Valencia, and they're both residential sections. Section 2 includes 46 residential lots within an approximate 12.956 acre tract. The residential product is the traditional 50-foot wide and 6,000 square foot lots. The Section 7 includes their specialty product, which are like typical 45-foot wide lots. Staff reviewed and find a few minor issues that needs to be addressed. So staff is recommending a conditional approval with 2 conditions for Section 2. One is to revise the vicinity map to place the Manvel ETJ label within the ETJ area. And the second condition is revise Note 2 to reference accurate date based on the provided city planning letter. For Section 7, there are 3 conditions. One is the total acreage on the plat title block is not consistent with the city planning letter, revised for accuracy and consistency. The second condition is to remove the 10-foot building line along Pollard Boulevard and include a 25-foot building line as provided in the approved preliminary plat. And the third condition is to revise Note 16 to expand PDZ to Planning Development and Zoning Commission or adding it to the list of legends.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions about either of these? Yeah. Any motions for agenda item A and B?
Make a motion to approve item A and B with conditions.
I second that with conditions.
All those in favor? And that motion carries 5-0. Okay. Consideration and possible action to direct staff to provide applicants written statements of the conditions of any conditional approvals and the reasons for disapproval of any plans or plats that were not approved per Texas Local Government Code 212.0091. Any motions on that one?
I move we accept item number C on the regular agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? And that motion passes 5-0. Okay. Agenda item D, consideration and possible action to approve and forward with recommendation to City Council ordinance number 2023-0-21, an ordinance amending Del Bella Lakes Planning Development to authorize NAICS code 447110 gasoline stations with convenience stores and amend the signage provision. Okay. Questions, comments?
I have a question. Was Keating Toyota built before the neighborhood or after the neighborhood?
The neighborhood built.
Do they have a service department?
I think so,
So they deal with chemicals and stuff too, right?
yes.
And I'm just wondering because that seems to be backing up to a lot of the houses that aren't quite built yet or just now being built, where the other part is water. I'm just trying to get an idea of what's going on here. So, Keating Toyota is actually pretty huge. I'm sure they've got a lot of noise, traffic, and all that stuff too.
No, restricted hours.
Okay? They don't have trailers that park along the road or anything? And y'all don't hear nothing? And the light pollution? I'm asking you guys.
No, as the chair, the chair needs to recognize anybody who's speaking, so if you
Yes.
have any questions, we can answer them as staff or pose them to the chair to ask anybody in the audience, but we do ask that speakers be recognized.
Okay, well, that's all I have to say.
And I would like to add that if y'all, agenda data sheet was included in the packet. It was presented last meeting as well. If you have any questions from the data sheet, I would love to answer that. And I would also like to mention that we have the applicant attending the meeting, and they would like to address the commission and respond to some of the comments that were made last meeting as well as this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I would like to hear from the developer or the applicant to see if there has been any changes made to the plans or anything that they submitted prior.
Yes, we'll get to that in just one second. If you don't mind, I'm just going to kind of summarize the staff report here. So currently, staff is not recommending the approval of this because of the existing requirements in the PUD and then the number of other existing gas stations within the proximity of this proposed location. That's the primary
right?
reasons, correct?
Yes, it's based on the policy direction we
Right.
have from the current zoning ordinance, which was amended in 2020 to include an SUP requirement for gas station and convenience stores, and it included a predetermined condition of that 2-mile radius, not locating within a 2-mile radius. So that is, based on that policy direction, staff is not recommending approval.
Okay.
Right.
And
Because there's 3 or 4 gas stations within 2 miles?
Correct. Within 2 miles, the applicant has provided 2 exhibits. One of the exhibits shows the existing gas station within the 2-mile radius, and the other one shows gas stations right outside the 2-mile radius within a 1 mile. So basically within 3-mile radius and 2 mile.
So
And
6.
we have a total of 6, including the gas, HEB gas station within 2 mile, and we have a total of 4
Already.
right outside the 2-mile radius.
So 10 in total within a 2 3/4 mile radius.
And the intent of the 2020 amendment to include the SUP was to avoid the overabundance and clustering of gas station in a very close location. So
Okay.
just wanted to throw that.
Thank you, sir. If the developer's here, I know he'd like to make a comment, so.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam, and I'm a representative of the buyer and the developer. I understand from the previous and current PNC meeting, there were some concerns as far as health, property valuations, and crime when it comes to a gas station development on the corner of Del Bella Boulevard. I just want to say that we do hear your concerns, and we thank you for bringing it up. We want to ensure that we can provide you all more insights and fact into the business so that it can ease some of the concerns that you all have. As far as health, we understand the main concern is, am I safe living next to a gas station? And what safety technology do gas stations have to prevent leaks and fumes? When it comes to leaks and fumes, gas stations are a business that is heavily regulated by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to ensure there are no leaks and spillage into the property that residents have a concern about. TCQ requires gas stations to have tight fill fitting, spill containers, and an overfill prevention device to ensure there is no leakage. Furthermore, the new state-of-the-art tanks are industrial grade, double-coated carbon fiberglass that are better and more improved than the ones in the past. Gas stations are required to keep monthly records and annual records of inspecting the fuel lines, tank, and overspill bucket from a compliance standpoint. In addition, TCQ themselves undergo inspections for each site to ensure all safety measures are being met on a yearly basis. This should eliminate some concerns as far as benzene and leakage, since they are contained within the property. We have extra copies of TCQ's regulatory guidance if residents are interested to read more about it. The next topic of concern was crime. As far as crime, master plan communities such as Riverstone, Cinco Ranch, Woodlands, and Bridgeland are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to develop these communities, and they all contain multiple gas stations within walking distance of homes throughout the development. As they understand, it is essential for the neighborhood for day-to-day and emergency uses. If you search online, single-family homes, restaurants, grocery stores, and parks, along with gas stations, are top locations for crime. From a gas station standpoint, we mitigate the possibility of crime by constructing upscale facilities and flagging the site with global oil companies such as Chevron, Exxon, who also have high standards of branding and operations because of their brand being associated to the community. These oil companies also do quarterly inspections to ensure the facility is up to par from a safety and customer-friendly standpoint. Given the fact that this site is across the street and 225 feet away from the nearest home and in a commercially zoned land, this poses a less risk for residents. In terms of property valuation, the proposed gas station development will be a high-end branded station, either Exxon or Chevron, that will cost nearly $4 million, as we want to ensure it complements the master plan development and not be an eyesore. To dig deeper into that argument that gas stations affect property value, we can look at two case studies. The first is a Chevron station at 8603 Reading Road in Fort Bend County with homes within 40 feet of it. And the second is a Shell station located at 21710 Tuckerton Road in Harris County, which has homes within 15 feet of it. A home which sits right behind the gas station located at Reading Road was valued at $138,000 in 2018 when it was first built and there were no gas stations. The gas station was developed in 2020. The home value increased to $214,000, and currently in 2023, the home is worth $343,000. From 2018 to 2023, the home value increased by 250%, even though its backyard faces a gas station. We can see a similar trend in the second case study, where the home value increased from $240,000 to $450,000 from 2021 to 2023, even though a gas station was built in 2022, and this also touches property lines with the gas station.
Okay, thank you, sir. Did anybody here have any specific questions for?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
After our last meeting, or during our last meeting, there was talk that the developers were going to speak with the neighbors in the neighborhood about possibly putting something else. I'm just off the top of my head, daycare center. So there's no other thing you want in there but a gas station. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not the property owner, but just someone interested.
I think it's him.
Yes, sir.
Here at Nondorf, we're open to putting a lot of stuff there, but the interest has been mostly from groups like this. If somebody came to me and said, we want to put a kinder care here, I would certainly listen to that. It's not like we went out to gas station owners and said, please come here.
No, and that's why I was just making sure that you did say that you were going to talk to the neighbors in this community, and that's what I wanted to make sure happened. Okay.
I stayed after last time, as I said I would, and talked to everybody that came up to me, which was multiple. And I handed out my business card to multiple people. I heard from one of them, Dr. Pamela Hardy Shepherd. She did send me articles, and I forwarded those to our buyer. So there was some back and forth, but not as much as I.
Okay.
Any other questions from anybody up here?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add that this morning we received a few documents from Sam, which we had forwarded. I just wanted to make sure everybody got it and everybody was able to review it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a quick question, but it's a question not to actually them, to the city staff. So my question is, if the city staff already denied it, basically based on that city ordinance, they say that if there is a certain number of gas stations can be only approved on certain distance. So if this is true, so in the first place, the gas station could question shouldn't be, come to that position. It shouldn't come to this agenda even. It should come to a variance maybe, saying, okay, it doesn't fall under this category, and only things you can do, like the owner can do, is to ask for variance. So my question is why it is at this point.
Do you want to take it?
Yeah, you can't get a variance to land use. It's a rezoning, and that's what is
Okay.
before it here. And to give you a history, the PUD document was a negotiated zoning between the original developer and the city that lasted over a year, going back and forth as to what land uses would the city like to have in this particular zone, and came up with the PUD. And it was very heavily negotiated. Originally, the car dealership was not even one of the uses that the city was going to allow, but in back and forth, that was a concession that the city made with the developer based upon the Toyota and all the additional design standards that they were willing to agree to and some other things. From what I recall, originally that there's never been gas stations been allowed in this particular zone, and I think that's why they have a rezoning to amend that document, amend the PUD to put that in here. And if you like the history on it, I think the number one thing the city was looking at the time this was done is compatibility with the surrounding land uses, which is an overarching topic for any rezoning. And that's probably one of the top things that, that's why we have the public hearing and we have the surrounding land use. The property owners come up to give you their feedback for that reason. So anyway, just to give you a little bit of the history as to how it came to be, and that's why it was not in the original PUD zoning, and that's why the PUD zoning has to be amended, where this is actually a rezoning, because you can't get a variance for a land use. You have to go through the rezoning process.
But the same time, it will raise the second question is, I think somebody sent an email to us this morning or yesterday maybe, Tammy or somebody, regarding some of the part that was approved previously, and it did not actually restrict gas station of our agreement. So my question would be that, is it going to be any legal issues from us, since you are a legal side, any issues for us if we not approved it, or look like, basically they're looking for is it's a zoning change, right? So is there any legal issue at this point, because there was no restrictions in the first one, and now?
Well, this is a PUD, so it's
Yeah.
kind of its own.
It's its own, correct.
Yeah,
It's
they
its
came
own
up with their own set of rules, so, or
Because it
in
does not
negotiation with the
restrict
city.
it to put it on gas station or not, that's my question is. Since there's no restrictions, it's a light zoning, light commercial, so light commercial could be anything.
It's the PUD zoning for that. So that document they created is what rules the zoning for that, everything that's within there, so.
Typically, the legal danger is the other way. It's called a legal theory called spot zoning. When you take a very small piece of property and rezone it where it's not compatible with the surrounding land uses, then you run the risk of legal challenges for what's called spot zoning. And that's more common than the opposite.
Okay. Very good. That's all that I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Anybody else? Questions? No.
There was a question asked if we had changed the plan. Last time heard that there was concern about the sight line and seeing the gas station sign and all that. We've, and I want to address something else as well, but to do that, we've talked about putting dense foliage on the back, which would be the north side. And then we found out, which I can tell you how we didn't know, or we weren't approached to sell that piece to Keating, is we didn't realize that there's this little sliver when you're at the lake and you take a left when you're coming in. There's a little sliver that's not owned by us, which we found out when we did. Sam brought it up to me. He was like, hey, do we get this too? I was like, actually, it says it's not owned by us. We've agreed that if they put the gas station, or he has agreed that if they put the gas station there, they'll also put dense foliage there, which would block the view from the east as well.
And this is version 1 of the site plan? That's with the application?
I don't know if it made it on there, but that's something that we have discussed.
Okay.
So what we have in the packet is what we originally received, and we did not get a revised.
Updated one, okay.
And I just wanted to add something, just to avoid any confusion, and that is in response to Commissioner Mohammad's question. So when the PUD was adopted, I think way back in 2017, the land use allowance defaulted to whatever city's allowance is for light commercial district.
Okay.
And back in 2017, gas station and convenience stores was permitted in light commercial district. However, in 2020, the zoning ordinance was amended to include this SUP requirement for gas station and convenience store with the predetermined condition. And since the PUD defaults to our light commercial district allowance, they're required to amend to add that allowance. And that's why this came to this platform, because administratively, staff cannot make that amendment.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That really clarifies.
I think we're ready for motions then?
I make a motion to approve consideration for letter D.
I'll second.
All those in favor? And all those opposed? So the motion fails 0-5. Okay. Two last items. Consideration and possible action to approve excused committee member absences. All motions for those?
I'll make a motion to approve item E.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? And that motion passes 5-0. And then we have one additional motion.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All those in favor?
That's an easy one.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Have a